Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Welcome back to the random show. Welcome back to the random show. Welcome back to the random show. It is episode number 423. Day number 8 of 31. Day number 8 of 31. Thank you for joining me right now. It is day number 8 of 31 of this marathon 31-day stream. We're trying to hit 500 members by the end. It's a bit of a stretch goal. We're still quite far away from it, but with perseverance, maybe we'll get there. But even if we don't, it's been an amazing journey so far. It's been good to see that, if I put my mind to something and I'm consistent, I can actually do something every day. Who knew? Who flipping knew? Who flipping knew? So big up those of you who are members who have joined. Big up those of you who aren't, who just watch. I appreciate you guys same way. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure. Never, ever, ever a chore. Today's show won't be the longest. I think we'll probably do a super long one tomorrow in the morning. That'll be the daytime stream. That'll mostly be for the members only. So if you're not a member yet, make sure you join. There's a link to become a member in the description. You can also opt in for membership. You can give to membership via the dollar button in the chat box as well. So make sure you do that. But yeah, we're going to be doing a member only stream tomorrow. So I think mostly we'll do those type of things. Maybe leave it for the daytime stream. So if you want to get involved that way. But yeah, we're going to cover some Tfatk stuff. We're going to cover some golden hour stuff. We're going to cover some Andrew Schulz stuff, loads of stuff in between. So thank you for joining me on this today, the random show with your host Agostino. Thank you for joining me. Big up Jaded, big up G1 Rogier, big up Jordan Ray, big up LB, big up LB. There's LB and LB. Big up both of you. Big up Preban for Loco. I see you in the stream chat too. Big up Don Dotto was here earlier. Timo Kazi was here earlier. Big up everybody. Big up everybody. Big up G Rogier. I'm on the vitamins. That's what I like to hear. Big up G1 Rogier on the vitamins. That's what I like to hear, son. That's what I like to hear. Get after it. Get after it. Get after it. So big up G1 Rogier. Big up Blood Clot G1 Rogier. Big up. Get on it, son. Get on it, son. Okie dokie. Big up everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate you. We're going to kick off the show hot. There's a brand new Too Lazy to Try video just dropped. Brand new Too Lazy to Try video. Big up Too Lazy to Try. The title of the video is Joe Rogan's Friends Hate Austin, Texas. I haven't watched it yet. I've been saving it to watch it along with you guys. Hopefully you ain't watched it yet yourself either. Big up to Try. Always fucking killing it. Great videos. That's his channel right there. Right, it's already got 300,000 views. Fucking killing it. Big up to Try. We put together this Joe Rogan's Friends Hating Austin, Texas thing. So let's check out what he has to say. I'm curious information he's been able to piece together. Let's freaking go.
Everything. I have no power for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Texas blows.
I didn't know that.
So, dude, the second you run
back, Shane. Come on. Just say I went to Austin and gotta tell you that Austin. That city is a boiling pot of evil goo just circling a dish. I hate.
So did no one know this before they moved? I think, to be honest, I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, right? Still, like a fucking idiot, because of this show and because I'm a fucking idiot. And I swear I remember hearing Tim Dillon, before he even moved there, he was already having reservations. Like, Tim was very dramatic and drama queeny about the whole thing anyway. He kind of like left pretty soon after he moved. He didn't stay probably even half a year, I think. I think he left straight away. He wasn't there that long. But I remember Tim Dillon saying, like, Austin isn't a nice place. It's not a fun place. I remember him saying he'd actually prefer to live in maybe Houston. But I remember him saying that Austin is not LA. He hated the food. He hated all the cowboy shit. Like, whatever. He was very clear that the best thing about Austin, or the best thing about that area, will be Joe's Club. but the rest of it isn't that great, especially if you come from LA. It's like if you go in there to obviously move there for what it's for, like if you're moving, I'd imagine if you're moving to Texas because you like Texas, you'll enjoy it. But if you're moving to Texas because you think it's going to be a different version of LA or New York, you're in for a big surprise because it's not. And I remember Tim Dillon being very clear on that. And when he went, he was kind of, I'm assuming happy that his reservations were confirmed. But I'm surprised that a lot of comedians didn't know that Austin wasn't what there was no like idea of what it was like, no understanding. Because for me, I'm a UK guy, I've got no understanding of the difference and shit. But I think Americans, you probably have an intrinsic, or you probably have a gut feeling or some experience about these different states because of your friends, family, or things that you've heard from people about what it's going to be like. So I'm surprised that these coastal elites had no idea that it was going to be this shit, or it wasn't going to live up to where they were from. I'm super surprised by that.
Hated everyone I met, and
yo, big up Uche in the stream chat, big up Uche, big up Uche, big up Josie in the stream chat, big up.
all of the things that people were doing I hated, and I didn't understand what was going. Everyone there was like, "This is the next city,"
right?
And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it.
Yo, big up Johnny Sneed. Joe Budden leaks making 900. Yeah, I saw that, bro. Joe Budden's leaks got me motivated, man. I'm gonna get back on a Patreon tomorrow. I'm dropping a fucking episode a day on fucking Patreon from tomorrow. I saw those fucking leaks. 900,000 a fucking month. Fucking hell. But to be fair to Joe, he's also been very similar to Matt and Shay, My Secret Podcast. He's super consistent with his Spotify. He probably puts more effort into recording Patreon episodes than he does recording regular YouTube and podcast stuff. He's always put an onus into that, and because Joe's got a very parasocial fan base, they're very like, they treat Joe like a cult leader or something. So they're more than happy to pay for that as well, they like seeing him win. It's a weird relationship, like they kind of enjoy like seeing him glow up. So I'm sure that kind of plays into it. But 900,000 is again, big up Joe Budden. 900,000 a month he makes on Patreon. But if you watch, or the podcast makes on Patreon, not him, the podcast makes. But if you watch the Joe Budden podcast, in my opinion anyway, when they all sit on the couches, when a camera pans to Joe Budden, he always looks like the most shiniest one, if that makes sense. He looks like he's got the most expensive outfit. He looks like he's got the nicest cologne on, the most, expensive trainers, the big jewelry. You can clearly see he's making a lion's share of the money. But in my opinion, the thing that makes him a piece of shit, no one watches a Joe Budden podcast only for him. It's about the cast of people, like their dynamics, how they, how they kind of communicate, how they mingle, how they argue, how they fall in love, how they fall out for it, all that stuff. That's what we all watch it for. But for some reason, he gets the lion's share of the money, and he clearly looks like he makes, all the big bucks. And everybody else kind of has to fight for scraps. So that's a really shitty thing about him. Is like 900,000 a month. You should be able to sort out your people, but he doesn't. He gives them the bare minimum. He's kind of like Brendan Schaub that way with Chin. Chin's the one that fucking helps Brendan, set up the whole podcast. He's an essential part of Tfatk. I'd say Chin's even more important than Brian Callen. I think if Brian Callen left Tfatk tomorrow because he went to pursue his acting, right, did some stupid move like that, I think you could replace Brian Callen with anybody. I think Brian Callen's easily replaceable. Not gonna lie. But I think the most important person at Tfatk is fucking Chin. But I'll bet you any money, Brendan still pays Chin the bare minimum. Like whatever the industry minimum is for a producer, handyman, lackey, he probably gets the base of that. Maybe 50k, and that's it. So that's what they share in common. Just all this money you're making, but you're not sorting out the people around you. It's fucking garbage.
Lake is the color of sewage. These are the worst people. Austin is like if the Proud Boys and Antifa got married and had a city. Nothing works. And the food is atrocious. It's some of the worst food in America.
Tim Dillon hates the is the food that bad? People who in the stream chat, is the food that bad, or is Tim Dillon just a little bit posh, a little bit fancy? Because he's one of those fat guys. They do exist. Because the fat guys that I know of are like Wings of Redemption. They just eat shit. But Tim's a fat dude who's like got, he's got standards. He's a proper foodie. He doesn't cook though. That's the interesting thing. There's foods that exist, right? There's foodies who exist who don't give a fuck about cooking. They're just like eating out. Like, I've got a friend like that who like he just doesn't like. He's into food but doesn't care about making it himself. Just wants to go to nice restaurants and sample whatever they have to offer, do little fucking reviews on Instagram stories. But Tim Dillon was the original hater of fucking Austin food, like the barbecue, not getting the hype, not understanding why people queue, all of it. Basically saying if you've been to one, you've been to all of them. There's not much difference between each other. Like he hated it. But I also imagine with him being sober, big people can stream chat if you agree. Is Austin not a good city to go to if you're sober? By the way, with the whole 6th Street bars and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it's not the funnest place to be if you're that kind of person because everyone around you is like getting fucked up.
America, you have to be like a drunk college pig to enjoy it. I've shit talked Austin for 3 years. Not one human being has said, hey, fuck you, man. Not one person has said that. Everyone kind of goes, yeah, I get it.
All right, so it's been almost 5.
Big up Key P. Big up Young Vibe. Austin sucks, Blue Hill. Key P, I meant a year, not... What is Key P? How do you know that's Chin's alt, by the way? Please clarify in the stream chat. How do you know that's Chin's alt? Because you're essentially saying Chin confirmed that he makes 60k a year. If that's true, that guy is a bozo, man. Like, how you let Brendan pay you 60k a year when you're essentially the person that does everything there, everything behind the scenes, and you're letting him pay you 60k a year? You're getting taken advantage of, Chin. You're getting taken advantage of.
5 years since Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas, and if you listen to what he has to say about it, he makes it seem like Austin is the greatest place ever, but quite a few of his friends that have moved there have a completely different opinion, and the most recent has been Brendan Schaub, who just moved there, and he's really regretting it, which I covered over on Patreon if you're interested. But that's what made me think of this video idea, because he's not the only one who heard Rogan constantly talk about how amazing it is and how they need to move there, and then they went there and realized Austin kind of sucks. Like Shane Gillis, he moved there almost 2 years ago, and he's not even there as much as the average person who lives there. He's always on the road, and he goes back to New York quite a bit. But even for the amount of time he spends in Austin, it sounds like he just can't take it anymore. And
yeah, he's got a place out there similar to Theo. I think Theo's not in Austin though. Theo's somewhere else, but I think he's got a place out there though, Shane. And he doesn't even stay there. I remember reading that about it on Reddit. But I think Joe moving there makes sense, innit? Because of his political evolution. Like he's starting to lean a lot more right. You'd imagine there's a lot more Republican guys there, similar sort of age like Joe as well, similar sort of profile, maybe similar interest. So it makes sense why Joe would like it. And I just think in general, Joe probably need a break from LA because you're surrounded by too many vultures. Maybe he's just happy he's living somewhere else because it gives him a reason not to call some people back, not to have people randomly drop by or pop by for a chat or a drink to ask for something. Because I'd imagine Joe's entire life is people just with their hand out. So maybe moving to LA for him moving to Austin, for Joe Rogan holds a lot more significance because it sort of allowed him to start anew, cut off ties with a lot of hangers on, which is probably the reason why. And of course, he's got his club. But if you're not him, you're not gonna be that happy because Austin isn't LA. It's not New York. Big up Susan Shincha. Big up Young Old Vibes. Yeah, Austin sucks. Doing food in Texas generally sucks ass. BBQ being the exception. So there's not a decent Asian scene out there. There's not that kind of food. It's all just Mexican food. It's all just barbecue. Big up Keepy. I need a year. I mean a year, not a week. Cool. Big up Jet Donner Jr. Even then, when a BBQ place becomes popular, my bad, they start charging surf and turf prices for brisket. Yeah, that's a piece of shit, that is. Mr. Bob, to be honest, Chin only works 2.5 days a week. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter, Mr. Bob. He still does a lot. Chin works 2.5 hours a week, but he's the only one there that's there from like open to close. He has to set up before they get there and he closes down or whatever after they leave. Obviously, during other streams, big up Coiler, he's the one that kind of spotted that the guy's pretty useless, right? He wastes a lot of time. He doesn't really he's not the most efficient worker in the world. So maybe he doesn't need to be there 10 hours. He's just probably doing busy work, but he's still there a long fucking time. And the fact that he's been there for so long, he's never wavered. I don't anticipate, even if Chin got fired, that he would be on fucking MMA holes, or he'd be doing a live stream with Unique or something, bad mouthing Brendan. I think he's loyal to Brendan and Brian to a fault. So I think that counts for something too. Like, do right by that person, man. Pay them more than 60k, you piece of shit. Big up Lisha Manuel, Wagwan G. Chin does not make 60k. No way. LA is too expensive. Plus, he has a lot of expensive toys. Yeah, good point. Well, that's the current theory. The current theory is 60. I'm still gonna stand on my guess, which is 100 grand. But can I see Brendan? Like, Brendan would definitely go out of his way to pay somebody what the bare minimum. He won't do any more. So if he's on 100 grand, I'll be shocked. Young God vibes. Chin sucks. Cool. Let's continue.
And obviously the only reason he moved there to begin with is because Rogan convinced him to. Like, the first time Shane was on Joe's podcast, Joe kept talking about how amazing Austin is. And Shane's like, yeah, it's cool, but the homeless people here really freak me out. And it's so funny because, if they're talking about LA, Joe would spend the next 10 minutes flipping out about the politicians and all the crime and drug use they let happen. But since they're talking about Austin, then it's a different story. Like, at first he kind of blames politicians a little bit, but then he's immediately like, well, the homeless here, dealing with them, it's just part of the fun. It makes things interesting. And Shane's response is hilarious. Of course, Joe, who's worth $250 million and travels with a security team, is acting like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Dealing with dangerous drug addicts is fun. So he's just coping like crazy here. And the homeless, it must be pretty bad if Shane's complaining about it, because I think he's living in New York City at the time. So he should be used to it. But when he tells Joe that he's walking around downtown, Joe's like, oh, no, you shouldn't do that.
Austin's amazing. I fucking love it here.
Austin's cool. The area around there, I don't like it.
It's a little sketchy.
A lot of homeless.
Yeah. Well, it's not well regulated.
I'm not gonna lie, but they do a good job of not showing it. Am I not looking for it? I don't think I see a lot of images. You know how they always show like Philadelphia, Detroit, all these places where people are like super fucked up and high and homeless, and even parts of LA. You don't really see a lot of imagery, or even San Fran. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of pictures and videos of the homelessness epidemic over in Austin. Is that on purpose, or are they like kind of out of the way? Is that I don't know, because I don't really feel like I've seen many places where a lot of like homeless people in Austin live.
No.
And these knuckleheads decided to defund the police, which is a super unwise move.
Big up Uche. Chin makes 6 figures at least for sure. My dear, I hope so. For his sake, I hope so. I like to rag on Chin a lot, but one thing that I don't rag on is pay. Sorry, compensation and shit. Like, that's something that I don't take lightly. Like, I'll crash out for that sort of shit. And it always kind of breaks my heart when I see somebody taken advantage of. It shouldn't really, because he's a grown-ass man. If he is getting taken advantage of, then he only has himself to blame. So I hope he does make 6 figures. I hope he truly do hope he does. Because doing all that work, working with Brendan, working with Brian, the reputational damage it's going to do to you, the lack of, I don't think he's developing his skills there or anything. Like, you're sacrificing a lot. You're giving those guys a lot. So he should be getting compensated for that. You'd hope so.
But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting.
Yeah, excited. Yeah, you got a fucking driver and a bodyguard, dude. And you do karate. Yeah, it's fun. I'm walking around just like, dude, I'm going to get fucked up.
Don't walk
here.
around. You're supposed to.
You got to walk around.
Get from the parking lot into the structure, and then from the structure into the parking lot, and then we vacate the area. That's what you do.
That's what it,
Yeah,
it's a way different Shane, isn't it? I think this is the Shane when he first got cool with Rogan. You can tell it's a different Shane. Even the way he's sitting, he's like trying not to upset his mom's girlfriend, Like, this is a different Shane. Way more giddy, happy, and pleasant, and whatever. Yo, big up A Martinez. Oh, he's always pleasant, to be fair, but you know what I mean. Big up Gio Roger. Joe lived in a gated community. What the fuck is he talking about exactly?
Secure the perimeter of the area with security.
Yeah, I like doing
a lot of
comedy in fucking Fallujah. What the fuck, dude?
It's part of the fun.
It is fun. But
it is.
Till it's not.
Until it's not. Yes.
One day somebody's not gonna have fun.
Yeah. But that's like part of what the fun is.
Shane's trying to be as kind. He's walking up at eggshells. Like, then it's not gonna be fun. Someone's not gonna have fun one day.
Like,
True.
you cannot have light without dark. You cannot have sunshine without rain.
Shut
If you have
up.
sunshine all the time, you have California, and everybody's fucked up.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
And whenever somebody's shitting on Austin, Joe's classic move is to deflect by bringing up LA or California. He loves to do that. It's so funny. Like right when he gets done talking about how the homeless problem in Austin is just kind of fun and it makes it more exciting, he's like, man, but LA, the crime there's out of control. I have so many friends that had their houses and cars broken into. It's really bad.
You need a little sun. You need a little cold. You need a little bit of everything. You can't just only eat cake, you fuck. You can't just eat cake. That's what like California people are doing. They're just eating cake. You know, but even California now, they're recognizing like Los Angeles is hitting a massive crime wave. Like fucking crime is everywhere. I know so many friends who their apartments been broken into, their cars been broken into, they've been robbed. So many people are getting robbed there. It's just a totally different situation.
And another time Joe did this was during Protect Our Parks when Mark Norman and Shane started talking about how many Amber Alerts you get in Texas because Texas has the highest amount of child abduction cases per year.
Holy shit. Texas has the highest number of child abductions with over 2,700 cases reported in the last 5 years, according to a study by WSAZ. Additionally, there are an estimated 378 open missing children cases in the state. God almighty, Texas also leads in number of Amber Alerts issued, with 31 alerts in 2022, according to Newsweek. Other states with high number of Amber Alerts include Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina. Equally, all sketchy places, by the way. Shit. I didn't know it was that crazy out there, man. Holy shit.
So Shane's like, yeah, it's really depressing waking up to that every morning. And then out of nowhere, Joe's like, yeah, but you know what I don't miss about California?
I got an Amber Alert today. Did you guys get that
Texas,
one?
Yeah, we
Texas
get them all
goes
the time.
wild with Amber Alerts.
Yeah.
You know what I don't miss about
It's a really
California?
depressing way to start.
The
day.
forest fires.
Wow, look at that pivot. Yeah, fucking Twitter tries right. They're talking about Texas Amber Alerts, and then Rogan says, look, guys, forest fires in LA are bad. Everyone lost their houses. Second houses, third houses, but you know, their houses. Fucking hell, Rogan.
Yeah.
The fires were crazy in California. You ain't never seen anything like it.
They're here now.
Yeah, bullshit
You
fires.
guys took everything.
Big up Black American. Crime is only crime in blue states for Joe. Exactly. Big up Jordan Ray. Most of them are parents abducting their own kids, I think. Custody. Oh, come on, Joe. You think most of them are that? You think most of them are custody battles? I hope that's not the case. Do I hope it's the case? No, actually I do hope so. Let me rewind that back. I don't hope that kids are getting abducted by fucking guys in like ice cream vans or white vans. I'm hoping it's just a fucking crazy dad, right? A crazy mum, a step parent that just wants to see their kid and they're really toxic. I hope that's the case. I hope it's not some fucking psycho PDF serial killer person.
Really?
Listen, they're bad, but they're not bad like it is in LA because it doesn't rain there.
So seeing Joe cope over people disliking Austin is hilarious, and he must hate the fact that a lot of his friends just have bad things to say about living there. But it's also just all the same shit Joe criticizes LA for. I mean, Joe tries to deflect there by bringing up the forest fires, but then Mark's like, well, Austin has fires too. And it's obviously not as bad as LA, but...
Wow. Austin ranks as the 5th major city vulnerable to wildfires. Okay.
It ranks 5th in major cities vulnerable to wildfires. So if you're really that concerned about fires, I don't know if Austin is the best place to move to. So it seems like with Joe, whenever he's talking about LA, it's like the end of the world. It's the worst thing ever. But then if something similar is happening in Austin, it's no big deal. You know, it's just part of the fun. Like now, part of the Joe Rogan experience is dealing with street thugs and homeless people. Like another New York comedian who got to have a lot of fun when he went down there was Joe List. He went to do Rogan's podcast, and while he was there walking around downtown, he got harassed by some street thugs and had to run away from them. So he had a good time.
Wow. On the way to the show. On the way to the pod. On the way to the fucking comedy mothership. That's fucking hilarious, man. Joe List is quite a scaredy kind of. He kind of comes across as somebody that's always a little bit rattled, you know? You know, some people have got that personality where they're just always like constantly anxious and scared. He kind of reminds us of, so he probably screams like a mark when he's walking down the street, you know?
Like he also got to see a bunch of homeless people fighting each other too. So it's just madness down there. I mean, it sounds like the homeless there are just really aggressive. Like Shane also said, they have screaming runners and homeless people wielding swords.
I wish. I saw a homeless guy with a fucking sword cane in Austin recently. That was freaking
Oh,
me.
sick. Shane Gillis got the Action Bronson New Balances on. Nice. Good taste. Good taste. Good taste.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that guy.
Really?
Is he by the mothership?
He was close. He was by like the Black Rabbit.
Okay.
He had like I was just like carrying a box of stuff and heard a lady like, "Don't poke anyone with that." And I was like, I looked over and this guy had a like, dude, the blade.
Yeah, big up Brian Laura. Joe List sucks. Really? Why do you think he sucks? Let me know in the stream chat. What have I missed out on? Are you talking about all the Red Bar stuff? Why does Joe List suck? I saw some things about him with Red Bar. Some long video. I don't know which one it was. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, what's going on with Joe List? Well, why you hate Joe List?
Blade was like that long, and I was like, Jesus freaking Christ!
Damn, it's a cool homeless.
I'm still waiting for the day. Like they 4 of them test me, and they're like, we're like every time I pass them, I'm like, today could be the day.
They're gonna test you.
I'm gonna
eventually.
test my survival skills.
Yeah.
In San Francisco, there's like these guys, and they just walk
Ooh.
around. Like, it's crazy.
Oh,
It's a
they're
new guy.
stuck walking.
Yeah, stuck walkers, dude. They're just like this. They're like this, and they just.
That's such a good description of them. What he means. That's actually you see the videos of them, the guy, and it's like all they're in one place. What is that drug they're taking, bro? The people in the stream chat. What's a drug that makes you stuck? Is it meth? What is it? Is it crack? What makes you stuck? What makes you walk like those San Fran zombies, those Philly zombies out? Fentanyl, or is it fent? Fentifold. Okay, cool. Fentifold. That's hilarious. Okay, big up Josie. He just sucks, whiny little bitch, Joe List, and he lets all these friends bang his wife. What? He lets all his friends bang his wife, and he has banged Kerry Feehan, and that makes me think less of her. Lols. No, hasn't he had a crush on? Isn't that been like an open prank play thing? It's not really true, right? But he's always kind of been thirsting over Kerry for a while, isn't it? It's like a bit they do, no?
Just kind of like scramble around. I've never seen those guys.
It is nice. It is nice that it's like a zombie video game. Final stop is fucking L.A., San Diego with the screaming runners.
Yes.
Austin's got the screaming runners, dude. Screaming runners. It's terrifying.
So we drove down the street, and the guy was kind of saying, you know, they've taken over. It's crazy. It's scary. Be careful.
The
Whatever.
Lyft driver said.
Okay, I'm getting conflicting reports in the stream chat as to what caused that fold. People are saying it's meth. What are you saying here? Bath salts, big up Okay. After effects of was it come down of opiate? Someone else said here. Cool.
Yeah. I asked the lady, I was like, is it safe walking around here now? It feels like it's changed a bit. And she was like, just avoid 6th Street. And I was like, all right, got it. But so I was walking up the street, and I'm like,
what? Ari admitted it on Bobby Kelly's podcast. They went camping. Ari had his way with her. She's a comic too. Okay, I've got to dive into this lore. I got to watch that. That's Bobby Lee's pod. What is it one again? What's his podcast called again? It's one where he's sitting behind a wall, right? Or in front of a wall. What's it fucking called again? Oh, I forgot the name. But anyway, I'll find it. Big up, yeah, that's it. You know what? Yeah, there we go. Big up, Jersey. Okay, cool. I didn't know that was happening. Oh, Ari Shafir is not a catch either, isn't it? He's a bit of a... Ari Shafir looks like a bit of a wrong'un, mate. Fucking hell, you let Ari Shafir smash your wife. I don't know, man. Maybe someone a bit more handsome or something. Like, goddamn. Big up Uche. It's fentanyl. Okay, cool. It's fentanyl.
I'm like, all right, so far so good. And then I started to get closer, and I saw these 2 guys walking towards me, and they seemed like...
Big up Black American. Have you gone over the Liver King thing? No, I haven't. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. I don't really know what's going on, but this here clip of him looking very, very worse for wear. He kind of reminded me of Bert Kreischer. He looked fucked in the face. Maybe he even looked even worse than Bert. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll check it out. But I'm assuming he's not doing the greatest. I assume he's not doing well.
Like, you know, ne'er-do-wells. And then there was a guy on a bicycle, like a BMX style bike, who kind of was with them and then rode ahead and kind of did like a loop behind me. So then I was like, all right, this feels unsafe. So I kind of just moved to the street, like off the sidewalk, but still right next to the sidewalk. And then the two guys, as they passed, were like, "Look at this motherfucker, this racist ass motherfucker moving into the
Jesus
street."
Christ!
As we passed each other, I could still hear him kind of like mumbling. They seemed like they were fucked up. And then I came to the intersection, which is where I guess that homeless shelter is, and there was like 40 homeless people, not like sleeping in tents or on the sidewalk, but like fighting, yelling.
Holy shit, sounds like a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a fucking nightmare, if true. This sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Smashing. And I was just like, I don't feel like walking through that. That doesn't seem great. And then as I was walking back that way, they were a little ways ahead of me, and for whatever reason, they decided to cross back across the street. And so we just met right there. And then the guy's like, "You wouldn't be following us, would you?" And I was like, no, I'm just lost. And I kind of did like I don't want anything to do with you guys. And then the guy got like right up into my face and was like, "You better be fucking lost. Why don't you get lost?" And like whatever else. I was in like panic mode, so I couldn't. Oof. And then there was one of those like scooters, those rentals.
Usually homeless people don't really like pay you any attention, any mind. What is it about fucking Joe List that made them so angry? Usually they're in their own head doing their own thing. They don't really kind of paying attention to like what is it about Joe List's aura, his fucking face, presence, whatever, that made them just go crazy? They were all ganging up on him. It sounds crazy.
Scooters that are everywhere.
Yeah.
And he just gave that like a hard kick and did like this thing, and we were kind of like, and I went, no, I'm getting out of here, and I just kind of walked around. And
powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up
Should have
Curtis.
just asked if they had a gun.
Big up Curtis. Legend. Big up Curtis.
Swallowed all pride and just went full run.
But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting.
Oh my god. Oh, I thought he's saying that to fucking Joe List. Great edit, by the way. Big up to his try. I thought he was saying that to Joe List. I was like, oh my god. Surely not.
That part at the end there is obviously edited. But another thing Shane and Matt complain about is the heat and the bugs. Like Shane, he said there was some giant insect crawling on him in the middle of the night while he was sleeping, and he had to get up and look for it, but he couldn't find it. And then recently his power went out for 3 days, so his house...
Yeah, young old vibes. I lived in Austin for a year and had to carry an ice pick. I don't play with them. Okay, fair play.
House was like 100 degrees, and he said a bunch of bugs got in, so it just sounded awful. And I think that's when he's finally like, all right, this sucks.
Fucking bug crawl across me in the middle of the night. You know this is one of my deepest fears.
Yeah, what happened?
It fucking woke me up. The thing was huge.
Was it in the hotel?
No, it was in... yeah. It literally went up the side, and I was like, no! I woke up, yeah.
And it wasn't like a night.
I don't think it was a night. I felt it. It like woke me up. I could feel it on me.
What kind of bug? What kind of creepy crawler?
I didn't get to see the crawler, which was made for a worse evening, because then I was flashlight out, looking under the blankets. So what are you doing? I was like, I didn't want to tell her. I couldn't be like a giant spiders in our bed.
No way.
Because there has been a giant spider in the pool house. I didn't pack. There was a storm in Texas, and I have no power.
Okay.
And I have to be gone. I've been on the road for like a week, and I was going to
power grid like fucking idiots. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I was gonna do laundry before I left for this trip.
Right.
But everything, I have no power for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Texas fucking blows.
I didn't know
So, dude, the second we ran
back, Shane. Come on.
Come back. The second we ran out of power, the house was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
just bugs.
And it's June. It will go out in August.
Bugs came in immediately.
Yeah.
The house filled with bugs. I'm just laying in the dark.
Jesus Christ.
I lit some candles and read a book.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this to happen to Brent. I'm not gonna lie. Call me a hater, call me bad vibes, but I cannot wait. When is that month? I think it's August or something, right? When it gets really warm. I cannot wait for that to happen. It may not happen in Brendan's area, because Brendan lives like in a pretty nice area nearby the lake, private little residency. It's kind of in the suburbs, so maybe, you know, they make sure the power grid stays on for those folks. But I would love it. I would love it if Brendan had a time where the power went out and he had to read a fucking book. Imagine. There was no Wi-Fi. He couldn't just leave his family. Oh, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant hearing him retelling that story and making it seem like it was the hardest thing he's ever had to do in his life.
And if Shane moves, Joe will be in shambles. You know, he loves Shane, and he was so happy when he moved there. So he's got to be concerned about this. And another comedian that trashes Austin is Mark Normand. You know, he goes there for the Protect Our Parks episodes and to perform at Rogan's Comedy Club. But he's like, I can't believe people want to move there and live there. Like, he also says New York comedians all goof on the comedians who move there. Like, him and Big J were on Bert's podcast, and they basically said the comedy scene there is way overhyped, which is bold, you know, because Rogan wants to make it seem like it's the comedy capital of the world. So he can't be happy about them saying this. I mean, at first, Mark seems nervous to even admit that he doesn't like Austin that much. Bert asked him about it. He's like, yeah, it's cool. I like it there. And Bert's like, well, you kind of have to say that. So you know it's bad when even Bert is like, dude, you don't need to lie to us. We know Austin isn't that great.
I went to Austin, and gotta tell you that Austin. I don't know how these people, these Gillises or these Tyler Fish or these Seguras, who must be Greek, how do they live there? I mean, it's that city is a boiling pot of evil goo just circling a dish.
What do you mean, the heat? The homeless?
The heat, the homeless, the drugs, the whores, the cigarettes, the shows, the fucking pork.
Cigarettes? What do you mean cigarettes? Are you allowed to smoke in bars there? Is that what it means?
Taco, the tequila. I mean, it's just...
What's New York's take on Austin?
Oh, it's a punchline, for sure.
Really?
I like Austin. I like the mothership's great. And
you have to say that.
Yeah,
really.
I know. Shane's down there. It's I like Brian Simpson. I like I like all the guys, but
the extreme move out there was ridiculous.
I would never move there.
I think the move out there was ridiculous.
I'm glad someone's saying it. I'm glad someone's saying it. I'm glad somebody's saying it because, like, I would kind of get like, I guess if you're like Brian Simpson level, where even though you're like in Joe Rogan's inner circle, you're not that well known, right? So I get why he would move there, for instance. But an established guy, I don't get it. Or if you're like a younger comic, I understand because maybe you're not finding your way. Maybe you're not able to kind of pierce through the scene in New York. You're not able to get recommended to play in clubs in LA. So you want to go somewhere and quote unquote start fresh. You know, like when you move school, maybe you had a hard time in your previous school, you move to a new school and you can kind of reinvent yourself. So I think if you're a younger comedian or not so experienced, going to Austin or moving to Austin at the same time, Brendan, at the same time Rogan moved there, it's a smart play. Because just by default, you can kind of jump a few steps on the ladder because you're one of the only ones there and everyone else is like, you know, in their respective cities. But the big guys, the established dudes, they're moving there just for the sake of Rogan was some idiot thing because you're not going to be in that club every day. Most of the time, you're going to probably be in your own crib. So to go somewhere that you don't really enjoy the place, but you just like to work there and live there long term seems like absolute horror.
100 people moving there to try to get one of 8 spots available at Mothership.
And they keep saying, "Hey, it's a boom, a comedy boom," but it's one club.
One club, and the Creek in the Cave. There's Creek in the Cave and Cap City. That's it. Really? Everything else is a bar.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, Rogan pays a lot of attention to what comedians have to say about Austin and what they have to say about other comedians moving there. Like Bobby Lee kept making fun of everybody for following Rogan, and he said they would all regret it. And Rogan heard this and confronted him about it on his podcast. And he tries to convince Bobby to move there. And Bobby, he hates confrontation. So he's like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll think about it. But the way he's talking about Austin, it didn't sound like he was interested at all. So Joe keeps trying to sell him on it. And eventually he just starts having a meltdown over California. It's hilarious. And once he starts talking about politics.
Pick up Brenda Mallory. If you're Rogan and you want to hunt and shoot bows and arrows, do kettlebells, and Austin's heaven. Yeah, true. And you could probably get a lot more space for your money in it. So if you're as rich as Rogan and you want a really, because allegedly this new facility is big enough to have like, was it an Olympic size fucking bow place to do your thing. It's got a full gym in there with all the equipment. So he really went crazy with the kitting out of that place because you can probably get more bang for your buck. But in terms of moving there, living there day to day, after living in fucking Calabasas and shit or the Hidden Hills, it probably doesn't match or compare.
You could hear Bobby do this giant sigh, you know, he's like, oh man, here we go. And he's probably just thinking, all right, dude, I'll move to Texas. Let's take it easy here. Because Rogan starts freaking out. His eyes are like popping out of his head. It's crazy.
It's a mistake.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're leaving in about a month.
In fact, I want to say this, right?
Yeah.
I want to say that I think you're following, a cult.
Exactly.
What?
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a cult.
Okay.
And I think it's a cult of personality. I think that you see, our leader going out there and establishing his presence out there. And you think, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to Waco or whatever they did.
Waco.
Those fucking idiots that moved to Texas, those fucking morons. Some of them are coming back. Tim Dillon, I saw him the other night. He's like, I'm moving back October 1st. It's like, no shit.
Yeah, I saw that on the Joey Diaz podcast.
Yeah. They're going to come back.
But yeah, there's nothing out there. I mean, it's going to be fun for 3 years.
Yeah, LA's the best.
You should come. I know you were talking shit about moving to Austin, but listen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I watched the video.
This is a good exchange. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good exchange. Bobby is such a pussy, but it's like a good part of his humor. It's so good. I remember this clip. This is so fucking good. I heard you talking shit about Austin. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. I watched the video.
Out there. I mean, it's going to be fun for 3 years.
Yeah, LA's the best.
You should come. I know you were talking shit about moving to Austin, but listen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I watched the video.
No, I didn't.
Don't lie. You did. You did.
What
Like,
I
I'm
said?
not fucking moving to Austin. I don't leave my neighborhood. I don't go to Compton. I stay right here.
You guys took half of the talent out.
Yeah.
So I was just butthurt.
We brought another bunch in too. Like Shane Gillis lives here.
I know he does.
We're doing
now.
great.
I know you guys are killing it.
We're having.
I went to the
so
club
much
last
fun.
night.
Come move here.
I know,
It's-
but
you're more than Paulie's thinking about it. Paulie's here a lot.
I know. And
Paul
then
was just here the
Theo's
other day.
thinking
He's
about
killing
it.
Theo's thinking about
Right.
it. Yeah. They're all just worried that like people go, oh, you moved there to suck on Rogan's nuts.
I would never suck your nuts.
I don't ask.
Well, maybe talk about it. Then.
Listen, man, it's a great place to live.
That's a weird way to reply, isn't it? Everyone's gonna suck my nuts. I won't suck your nuts. I don't ask. So if they do suck them out of their own free will, you're more than happy to let them proceed. You don't ask, but if they want to, they can. Big up Uche. So Rogan does read comments. He comments, but he watches videos. No, I think he texts everything. Remember that story about Rogan sending Bert that clip of Mark Maron talking shit about him allegedly on the pod? Rogan sees everything, man. He just lies about the comments thing. He lies. He sees it all. But a Black American, I was mad walking outside in New Jersey yesterday. I thought I was gonna suffocate. It's so hot. Okay, so hot. I'm not moving back down. So, okay, cool. So it's already hot where you are, in New Jersey. So it's hotter down south, right? I'm assuming because it's closer to the southern hemisphere, right? That's probably why it's warmer. I'm assuming, right? Down there, and maybe because as well it's more deserty, sparse land, maybe more bluer skies. I don't know.
It's a great place tax-wise. It's a great place traffic-wise. It's a great place. The most important thing is people-wise. The people here are so friendly. Austin people are great people. They're really nice. They're nice. They're not shitheads. They're not Hollywood people. They're not lost in this fake world of leftist ideology that every.
Yeah, see? I think Joe moving to Austin was perfect for him. At his stage of his life, him basically becoming a full-blown boomer and leaning more right, Austin was the best place for him to go, especially as an antidote. Sometimes when you move somewhere, it's not because that place is awesome, it's because it's not like the place that you are from. The difference is what makes it special, you know? So maybe that's what he needed. He needed a change of scenery scenario, and a place where he could kind of, by default and force, kind of detach himself from certain people who had his number or whatever else maybe.
Everybody's trapped in. They're just people. They're just regular people, man. And those people exist outside of these blue.
Big up Black Americans. The humidity, big up Meg. It's almost unbearable here in GA right now. Josie, Texas is so fucking hot in the summer. The humidity sucks ass. Damn. Big up Boba Fett. Well gone, Boba Fett. Hope you're well, G. Long time no see. Hope you're good. Big up Ason. Yeah, places like New Jersey are swampy though. Detroit too. They get muggy in the winter. Yeesh.
Bubbles where everyone's gone insane. I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its fucking mind.
It hasn't gone full communist. Let's chill out. You might not agree with certain policies or certain people, but It's not communist. Like, let's relax.
And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes. Where's the left? Where are you guys? You guys are so far away. I can't even see you. You're out of your mind. You're fucking chopping dicks off. You won't even talk about the health risks. You use things like gender affirming care. What are you saying? What are you saying when you're talking about children? So everybody goes, you're on the right team. That's what it is. It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to kids? It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to San Francisco? It's not like, oh my God, why are we letting these violent criminals out of jail? It's like, oh my God, why are we defunding the fucking police?
Big up Lucky Duck. Bruv, it was 43 degrees here today, just south of the Canadian border. Jesus, Detroit is living hell right now. Fucking hell. Big up Uche. So good, so hot. Okay, cool. But Austin voted blue. Yeah.
What are you doing? You can't say any of those things. If you say any of those things,
but you
you're
just
a
said
Nazi.
it. You get nervous?
No.
Okay.
And that's pretty much JRE in a nutshell now. You know, him talking about how amazing Austin is, and then flipping out about California over the same problems Austin has, and then listing all this stuff that he claims he can't talk about. Well, he's talking about it on the biggest platform in the world. And I feel like if Rogan was really happy in Austin, he wouldn't get so worked up about these issues in LA. I mean, why is he having a meltdown over this? You know, he could just chill out. I mean, he's not there anymore. He hasn't lived there in 5 years. But for some reason, he cares more about fixing the problems in LA than in Austin, where he lives, which is kind of weird, you know, because they have similar problems, but he only ever talks about the ones in LA.
And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. It's like, oh my God, why are we defunding the fucking police? What are you doing? And these knuckleheads.
Maybe because he's like that, because deep down, he wants to move back to Austin. Oh, sorry, wants to move back to LA. Maybe that's why he's kind of always giving all these ideas and suggestions and shit. Maybe because deep down, he wants to move back, but not until they sort out certain key fundamental things, you know? That might be an issue, because a lot of these basketball players are that kind of, you know, or a lot of these comedians, have this kind of inflated sense of self. So I wonder if that's part of it. Rogan deep down maybe has this plan, this little cheat code, this little secret plan where he's going to completely reinvent LA, you know? Reinvent it. Bring it back to its former glories and shit.
Decided to defund the police. But you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting. That's like part of what the fun is. Like, you cannot have light without dark. If you have sunshine all the time, you have California and everybody's fucked up. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, so I think Austin just completely broke this man's...
I love the fucking the generalization. You can be at that in any place, to be fair. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, not gonna watch the entire thing. I'm gonna leave it there. There's about 5 minutes left, right? So check out fucking Two Years to Try. I think there's about 5 minutes left of the video. Check him out. You know the channel. 2 Years to Try. Joe Rogan's Friends Hate Austin. Check it out. Check it out. He smashed it. He killed it. Me personally, if I was Joe, I'm not gonna lie. If I saw this video, I'm pissed off at my friends. I'm judging my friends. I'm looking at them like, you entitled pieces of absolute dog shit. I've given you guys everything. Some of you guys, I've made you guys multi-millionaires through just having you on my podcast. I probably lent you money. I probably bought things for you. I've introduced certain people, got you agents, got you booked. I've done loads of things for these motherfuckers. And it seems like the one thing that they can't do for them, you know? They can't be content. They can't be content. They're pining or just pining for a kind of, you know, reliving of an experience that happened many years ago. It's like, you know, like whatever. I don't know how else you meant to like interpret that if you're Rogan. You give this, you open a club, you pay people probably more than what they're worth. You design it a certain way, you pour a lot of your own money into it, but then still these motherfuckers are like, nah, not enough. Not enough. You're like, okay, cool. Guess so. But yeah, if I was Rogan, I'd be annoyed. I'd be pissed off. But hey, maybe he likes it. Maybe he fucking likes it. Moving on. Next clip. Apologies for those of you who hate David Lucas. And big up to Josie for sending me this. But apologies for those of you who despise David Lucas. This is a new video courtesy of the channel called Clouds of Radiation. At first I thought it was Clouds of Redaction, you know that word, but it's not. It's Clouds of Radiation. David Lucas destroys his own career. Brackets, it's over. Let's hear what he has to say.
David Lucas has completely destroyed his career, and he's got no one to blame but himself. He used to be a fan favorite on Kill Tony, a quick-witted roast comic who...
Yeah, Jim Roger, I saw. That's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. That's coming up.
Looked like he might actually blow up, but that momentum vanished fast. Now, he's known as a joke thief, a compulsive liar, a self-admitted abuser, and somehow he's still out there begging others for money and favors. His fall from grace has been brutal and completely deserved. Keep watching. You'll understand why it's impossible for his career to recover.
Brutal, completely deserved. By the way, is this an AI thing, right? This feels like AI or something.
On his very first appearance on Kill Tony, David Lucas told a story about his parents owning a record company.
So David, is that what you do full time? Do you do
yeah, write, act, and live on my family money? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, family money.
Yeah.
Really? What kind of family money do you come from?
You ever heard of the record label Slip and Slide?
Fuck yeah. Slip and Slide?
Yeah, with Trick Daddy, Rick Ross. Yeah, my family owned that. So like, my family ain't broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm come from like a suburban hood family.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. What's
Teddy
that?
Lucas.
The only problem is that this was a complete lie. And if you thought that lie
was... No way. Video's quite early. Okay. Let me up the volume. Sorry. No way. Hold on. Let's rewind it. How's that? Let's actually, let me up it a little bit on here as well. Let me up it a little bit. Let me put it on 2. Let's see. Hopefully that's better. Let me know if it's better in the screenshot.
a record company.
So David, is that what you do full time? Do you do
write, act, and live on my family money? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, family money.
Yeah.
Really? What kind of family money do you come from?
You ever heard of the record label Slip and Slide?
Fuck yeah. Slip and Slide?
Yeah, with Trick Daddy, Rick Ross. Yeah, my family owned that. So like, my family ain't broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm come from like a suburban hood family.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. What's
Teddy Lucas.
The only problem is that this was a complete lie. And
imagine lying about something like that. That's like Brendan Schaub level of lying, isn't it? Fucking insane.
If you thought that lie was wild, it gets worse, because David didn't stop at pretending his family owned a record label. He's also been claiming for years that he's the son of Georgia State Senator David Lucas and that his mom does real estate.
What does your parents do or whatever?
My mom, she does real estate. She owns a lot of property and shit.
Oh, heck yeah. What did you do for work? Tell us all. What did you do before you retired?
I was a computer operator. July the...
Oh, that's his mum. Computer operator. I wish she was a property developer, bro.
7, I was at my company 45 years.
Yeah.
You got a dad?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
My dad's actually a senator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This was, of course, a bold-faced lie. David Lucas has a habit of making things up and hoping
Jesus
it sticks.
Christ.
The senator's real son was an accomplished football player who won a Super Bowl ring with the Cowboys and is now in his mid to late 50s. The numbers just don't line up. There's a full Grantland article that lays out the timelines in family history. The funniest part is that the real David Jr. is listed on Pro Football Archives at 165 pounds. He has the same name and same hometown. That's it. And yet, somehow...
Well, okay, so it's one of those... I wonder if it's like an opportune lie. You know that guy, what's his fucking name? What's that fucking name? The guy that lied about being in the 9/11 building, lied about being in the Twin Towers. He explained why he lied, and it made sense. I think he was called by a friend who had like a radio show, and that friend called him because they knew he worked in the Twin Towers, so they wanted his opinion. That's it, Steve Renazizi, yeah. And when he answered the phone call, he was live on radio. Immediately, the person asked him, and he felt like he was kind of, I won't say backed into a corner, but it was one of those times where it's like, it seemed harder to say no, I wasn't working that day. It seemed better to just lie and say, yeah, he was there and he escaped or something. It was crazy like that. But I remember when he explained it, it made a lot more sense than him just making up on, out of thin air. It's sort of like the lie presented itself and he just took it. Still fucked up, but
That coincidence turned into another fake backstory he ran with for years. This next part should have been the end of David's career because in the middle of a podcast, with zero hesitation, he admits to choking his ex-girlfriend until she passed out. You got to see this.
One time, I used to be a crazy boyfriend, bro. I used to be like one of them little jealous niggas. And she was taking a shower when she was about to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you about to go out and be a hoe, this, that, and the other.
The setup
I was
story
like,
is
I
an
might as well
attempt to
just stop
justify
fucking
what
with
he
your
did.
ass. And then she said,
So hold on. This setup / story is an attempt to justify what he did. He's manipulative.
something like, I was like, yeah, I was talking shit like, yeah, you gonna miss this dick. And she was like, I can always suck another. Or something like it set me off, and I grabbed that bitch from behind her neck, bro. And that bitch, I choked her, dog, and she passed
William
out.
can't believe what he's hearing.
She passed out of my arm in literally like 5 or 6 seconds.
Oh my
Scared.
gosh.
I was so scared. I thought
You should treat that girl nicer, innit? Being his size and making a girl suck your dick must be horrifying. That girl deserves a fucking award. That girl's a real fucking trooper. You should have given her a fucking parting gift or something. Something monetary, maybe some flowers, because, yeah. You can imagine what Davis is like, you know, in a relationship. He probably is not the easiest to deal with.
Was that in the shower?
Or to accommodate.
drying off.
Drying off.
Yeah, bro. She collapsed him out. That was scary as a bitch, bro.
What'd you do?
As soon as she hit the ground, she woke back up. I started crying.
Did you drop her, or you sort of set her on the ground?
Bro, I literally, like, imagine you choking somebody.
Jesus
and
Christ.
before you know, they just pass out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared.
I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't happen to me often. I don't randomly choke out people. I'm not gonna lie, I don't randomly do that. That's not normal whatsoever. Not normal. Cool.
Prepared to catch a body.
Right.
To catch her falling body.
Literally and figuratively.
Man, listen, bro. When she fell to the ground and she woke up, she was like, "What happened?"
What'd you say? You slipped in the bathtub?
I told her that she was yelling, and then she just fell out.
What did she say? How'd she take that?
She believed it, but then like when we later on down the line, I told her I had choked her, bro. Like when she fell to the ground, we both started crying. I was crying, baby. Bro, I was literally scared, dog. Like
playing the victim, also known as victim card or self-victimization, is a fabrication or exaggeration of the victimhood for a variety of reasons, such as justify abuse to others, to manipulate others, a coping strategy in marketing, and diffusion of masculine responsibility. Sorry, a person. Okay, cool. Let's see what else happened here.
What would you have done if you accidentally killed her or something? What would you have done? Try to hide the body or go to the police?
I probably would have told the police we were having kinky sex. Because she was naked. They would have believed it.
Right.
Like, we was having kinky ass sex. That bitch told me to choke her from behind. Yeah, bro. It was
Yeah,
scary.
sure.
Before we even get to the joke stealing, we have to talk about one of the most uncomfortable things David Lucas has ever done. And that's saying a lot. This one happened on Matan Evans' podcast. And how does David start the interview? He shows Matan inappropriate images on his phone. And it only gets worse from there.
You ever did Grindr?
Okay.
Are we in a safe space?
We safe space. What is this? You keep showing me like porn images.
What you think about this?
Why are you showing me?
I love how much Matan rattled David Lucas. I love it. I love how much he rattled him so hard. It's so good.
That's extremely weird. Show that to him. 20.
Kind of cute.
Me? You're saying this?
Little
about a minor.
earring.
I'm 17.
You're older than 17.
I promise I'm 17.
Let me see. Let me see your ID.
Put so much effort into that shit, and you won't even smell it.
Let me rub your back.
Why you touch-
Get real nice and close like we're in prison. Sit that little
Jesus
pale booty
Christ.
down.
I can't even be a predator if that's what you're alluding to.
No, Game of Thrones. What is you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
Because I thought you were trying to.
You on some weird
not
shit.
to a predator.
I'm not a predator.
No, for sure.
For sure.
Skip the question, bro. We ain't even.
Big up Matan. He's so good.
You're a predator.
I'm not a predator.
No, for sure.
Skip the question, bro. We ain't even finna entertain that bullshit you talking about right now, because I got children, and that's a very sensitive topic.
Double prostates?
Yeah. I'll put my hand in my ass and make you smell it, bitch. You gotta scratch the ass. Scratch the ass so you can smell it.
Let me ask you this: why would you make the joke about George
This is a satirical podcast. Look at what David Lucas does.
Floyd when you have no idea how it can affect the black community?
Because I wanted to.
But what?
Because I wanted to.
You notice how he tries to intimidate people smaller than him? First his ex-girlfriend, now him. It's a pattern, and honestly, it's pathetic, by the way. The only reason David agreed to do the podcast was because he was pranked into believing he was getting $10,000, which doesn't make any sense. Nobody's paying that much for David Lucas. But even if he felt misled, it still doesn't justify how he treated him. Picking on someone smaller than you shows a complete lack of character, especially when you couldn't even win a wrestling match against Tony Hinchcliffe.
David Lucas up. David Lucas is like 300 pounds.
Damn.
He did a duck under, got behind him, pushed him onto his back. David Lucas was scrambling, trying to get to his feet. Hinchcliffe was controlling him. He was furious.
Jesus Christ! There's no way he gets up in it. If David Lucas finds himself in that position, you might as well just close your eyes and count down the time until you meet your grandparents or something, because there's no way a guy built that way is ever getting out of shit.
David Lucas was scrambling, trying to get to his feet. Hinchcliffe was
Jesus Christ
controlling him. He was furious.
Joke stealing.
After everything we've seen so far, this next part somehow feels like a palate cleanser. David Lucas has been caught recycling jokes from Twitter, Reddit, and even comment sections. They're stolen and performed on stage.
No
or
way.
Like it's original work.
No
David Lucas has been accused.
No way. Honestly, I love the internet. How the fuck did people even notice that in the first place? I guess you have to watch these specials and then be like permanently online, and then you can maybe notice these type of things. But oh my god, if true, that is scummy. And you know what's mad about it? More than likely, after this melee, whatever, I won't be going to the third one, because you know what? I mean, I want no camera down there. Take. Wow. Let's see what Red Bar said.
Many times of taking jokes from Twitter and using them in his Kill Tony set. Laughing, thinking it's his stuff, but it's really, black Twitter. And we're going to see, did he steal it? Let's find out.
I got an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old daughter. Daddy, were you sad when you were a slave? I'm like, bitch, I was born in 1990. Ask your grandma that bullshit. What the fuck is...
Okay. True Nadia.
That's good.
Okay, not David Lucas. So her joke here on Twitter is, my niece just asked me, did you cry when you were a slave? Sis, I was
Jesus
born in 97. That's literally almost word for word. And they both just came up with this. You were a slave. Sis, I was born in 97. All right, now let's go back to David Lucas's so you could hear.
Daddy, were you sad when you were a slave? I'm like, bitch. I was born in 1990. Ask your grandma that.
But that's word for word, if you ask me. That's a steal.
What makes this even harder to ignore is that David isn't some unknown open mic guy. He's in the Joe Rogan orbit, the same Joe Rogan who famously went after Carlos Mencia for joke stealing and helped wreck his career. Rogan made it clear that theft in comedy was a deal breaker. At least that's what people thought. Meanwhile, David's doing the exact thing Rogan stood against, and no one in that circle seems to care.
A lot of Rogan's friends are like joke thieves anyway, right? A lot of Rogan's friends get inspiration from other comedians, quote unquote. So it's always made me laugh too how Joe doesn't really call that out or say anything, really.
It completely undercuts any idea that David is some roast genius. David Lucas isn't just embarrassing himself on stage. It's what he does off stage that really seals it. Because now, the guy who once acted like a roast assassin is out here begging for handouts. One moment happened backstage at Kill Tony when the Mr. Beast crew was visiting. Instead of networking or even just acting normal, David starts angling for money, trying to charm his way into a donation like he's doing stand-up for a tip jar.
I can't look at this. It's disgusting, man. I can't look at that. Big up A-Son. Big up Black American. My sister asks in the group chat how to get to Black Twitter. To be fair, to get to Black Twitter, you just gotta follow certain people. You'll usually find them on timeline. You follow certain people, and then your algorithm will change. I don't know who to thank off the top of my head, but you have to follow certain accounts. Then you'll see everything. It's unbearable during football season for most people that don't watch football, but outside of it, it's still pretty funny, especially if there's like current news fairs and shit.
$100? Look at him. Look at that shirt. He's the money back.
For real? Jesus Christ.
He's money back.
Gross, man. Gross.
Yeah, I seen.
Then there's the Fat Fish podcast with Ralph Barbosa, where David tries to pull off one of the most awkward moves yet. When David hears that Ralph has a car collection, he casually floats the idea of trading vehicles, like it's a fair deal, and not just him trying to walk away with something nicer.
Man, I miss my G-Body. I should have never sold mine. I had two.
I give you this.
No, I had three.
To trade for something you got.
I can't watch this video, man. This is too much. This is too cringy, man. I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know he was like this, bro. What the fuck is this, bro?
At your house.
I don't have much. I don't think that you would want, but you can come shop.
Maybe for 2. Trade it for 2.
2 cars?
Cause I got an LS motor waiting on me.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if I want to do this though. I gotta.
Is he getting bullied into this?
On the podcast, you gotta.
Well, here's the thing: is that I don't know if I'm convinced that I want to get rid of it or not.
It's painful to watch. Not just because he's asking, but because he clearly doesn't see how uncomfortable it is. Now, this actually happened while I was still making this video, and it proves everything I've been saying in the most perfect way.
This episode.
David showed up on a recent Kill Tony episode, and the reception was brutal, both from the audience and the comments section. But that's not even the craziest part. Someone got pulled from the bucket who happened to know David personally, and he exposed him right there on stage.
David hit me up.
The drug
dealer. He was like, "What's up, my boy? What you doing?" I'm like, "Shit, I'm just at the crib." And we ended up hanging at this like arcade, like little bar and shit. We got real the Casamigos. He was supposed to buy them, and then they ended up on my tab.
Look at how nervous he got. He was okay when he said they met, but as soon as he started to mention the details, you see how nervous he got.
Crib and
look at that. Look at this. Oh, big up Ricky Pictures. This one, Ricky Pictures. This Clouds of Radiation. This channel. This is fucking Joe's recommendation. This channel, Clouds of Radiation. I never heard of them, to be fair, but this is a good video.
We ended up hanging at this like arcade, like little bar and shit. We got real the Casamigos. He was supposed to buy them, and then they ended up on my tab. But that's cool. This is my boy anyways.
Yep. Welcome to hanging out with David Lucas.
Jesus Christ.
It's all good.
If you've ever wondered what it's like.
What goes around comes around because you're fat. All right, but.
I mean, I knew I was already right, but this just made it undeniable.
Harlan Williams. What's that? Harlan Williams' response, right? I think it says. Was that what it says?
Knew I was already right, but this just made it undeniable.
Yeah, Harlan Williams roast loss. Yeah, this was brutal. I think this might have been the turning point. Because to be fair though, no, turning point for the public. I'm always browsing. I check out Kill Tony subreddit from time to time. And those guys were ripping into David Lucas from time anyway. They hated him. They were hating him from day. So I think David Lucas' hate train began in the masses when Harlan Williams tore him to pieces.
By now, we've seen that David Lucas is comfortable punching down, begging for favors, and recycling jokes. But there's one thing he really can't handle: losing a roast. That's supposed to be his thing. He's the roast guy, the insult comic, the one who walks up and takes shots at everybody on the panel, guest or not. But when Harlan Williams showed up on Kill Tony, David got humbled. He came in with the usual fake confidence, and Harlan absolutely cooked him, calmly, effortlessly, and he's not even a roast comic.
Judging by your hair, you had an audition for Elvis, the stage play.
That didn't go too well.
Jesus Christ.
Judging by your hair, the children of the corn have diarrhea.
Yeah.
The crowd turned.
The fake laughing was the worst. I'm not going to lie. And Harlan Williams taking a piss out of his shoes.
Turned on David fast. Harlan was landing everything, and David was flailing. And when David posted the clip to his own channel, he edited out Harlan's laughs, like that was going to erase what everyone just saw. But it didn't end there. Harlan came back for a second episode, and David tried again. Same result, another loss. Even more embarrassing.
I don't even know what he's saying. He roasts like me, bro. That's why I can't roast this nigga. It's like the way I roast. It's like roasting myself. We say crazy shit. Damn it. You, Harlan.
You just keep saying roast. Eventually one will appear.
Oh my God. Look at Tony English's mouth. Look at him dying. Look, even the blind guy. Look at him dying in the back. Look at him dying. And Harlan Williams said that joke, that line, while the crowd was talking. It was quite loud in there. You can hear it in the background. He still manages to drop the line and it cut through. You keep saying roast and one will appear. Oh my God.
It's like roasting myself. We say crazy shit. Damn it. You, Harlan.
You just keep saying roast. Eventually one will appear.
Yeah, exactly. Big up the Maz, yeah. Just like me, exactly. Like Brenda with Theo. Big up Ricky Pitcher. Easy. Have you heard of the horrible Lucas and Tony back and forth where Tony makes the terrible takeoff joke? No, I've not heard that. I don't want to hear it either, man. RIP Takeoff, man. RIP Rocket, man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's gonna bum me out. Big up Ricky Pitcher.
I'm gonna call it.
Like roast. There's a fucking roast for the guy.
I'm gonna call it. David, you
quit sweating that gravy all over, man.
Jesus Christ,
This wasn't
gravy.
just a bad night. Combined with the Maton situation, this was the moment the tide turned. The comments shifted, the support faded, and people started seeing David for what he was. A loud comic with thin skin, recycled material, and no ability to take a graceful loss.
Agreed. Conclusion.
At one point, David Lucas looked like he was on his way up. He had a solid spot on Kill Tony, a growing fan base, and just enough confidence to carry bad material. But now, that seems to be all over. He's admitted to domestic abuse.
Honestly, that title, man, it's so bad, isn't it? Uncancelable. Like, really? Honestly. Has there been a single good special recorded at the Mothership, by the way? Has there been one single good special that's been recorded at the Mothership?
Abuse on camera. He begs for handouts, steals jokes, lies about his past, and melts down the second someone roasts him back. And most recently, David was back on Kill Tony, not as the roast assassin, but as a co-guest, paired with someone who's barely even an open mic comic. That's where Tony Hinchcliffe sees him now. Not as a headliner, but rather as just some background noise. David basically said nothing the entire episode. He spent most of his time hitting on her, because of course he did. That's basically on brand at this point.
Of course he
His
did.
podcast views are down.
Of course
the
he
audience
did.
has moved on. Even in a scene that overlooks a lot, David's worn out his welcome. He built a name off being loud, rude, and real. But now that everyone's seen who he actually is, there's nothing left to hide behind.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point. That is a good point. We've seen it all. We heard it all. Meh. So fair enough. Big up Cloud. What's that thing called? Cloud of Radiation. Sick channel. Give those guys a like. They fucking killed it. I really enjoyed that. Cool. Let's continue. Let's do a FESIFY. Let's quickly do a FESIFY. Big up FESIFY. I haven't watched this yet either, but this is a concerning fucking headline. It says Chris Brown is confronted at UK court trial update. So let's hear what he has to say. I think he has to stay here, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure if he's gonna be allowed to travel to Europe to continue his tour, but Chris Brown is currently in the UK performing as part of his tour. But he also got arrested in part due to some, assault that took place when he was last in England. But I'm wondering if he's on currently trial for a violent assault, surely he can't go on a plane, right? They're going to be worried that he might just never come back or something. I wonder what the deal is, but I guess they're going to just trust him and think, yeah, he's going to be sound for next time. I don't know. But let's check out the video anyway. FESIFY, Chris Brown confronted at a UK court trial. Let's see what he has to say here. Let's see what he has to say. Let me refresh the screen and let's go. Big everybody in the stream chat. If you're joining the stream, like the stream, please. Subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Give the membership, buy a membership, all that good shit.
Oh, Crit, love you too, buddy.
Hold on. What's that guy? What's that?
Oh, Crit.
What that guy scream? What that guy scream there? Do you ever regret hitting Rihanna, Chris Brown? What? He's never gonna leave that, innit? He's never gonna be able to shake that. He's never gonna be able to shake that. I guess in part because he also did it to fucking what's her name? Tran lady. He did that to her also. So it's no surprise that she has this kind of feeling. But oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her, man. Like, god damage. Let's continue.
Oh, Crit, love you too, buddy.
So many people was waiting for updates to
He looks good though in his suit, not gonna lie. No homes, but he looks good.
see, is Chris Brown going to go to jail in the UK? And he had to come back. Obviously, he's on bail. He put up that $5 million.
Chris Brown faces the music. Disappearance at a London court not listed on his world tour itinerary. Inside, the artist pleaded not guilty to the charge of grievous bodily harm.
It says Chris Brown has pleaded not guilty to the alleged bottle attack at a London nightclub. So the tape incident, he has gone to court for it now. He's made his plea, but we're not going to get a trial until a long time. It said the popular R&B singer is accused of attempting to unlawfully and maliciously cause grievous body harm with intent, alongside assault and actually body harm to a producer at the tape venue. This is back in February 19th, 2023. Co-defendant, a rapper and producer 38, denied the same charges in a plea and trial preparation hearing that morning.
Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, nice. Just don't let the choir fight up the pleading guilty.
After entering his plea, Chris Brown's next scheduled public appearance.
Prosecutor said that the 2023 nightclub incident was an unprovoked attack on Abraham Diawa, or Diawa, or Dior.
It's a concert in London. Can you go out to one? It's got performance in the city.
Love you too, buddy.
Love you too, buddy. It's hilarious. Brown and co-defendant Omololu Akinlolu were granted bail and were told to return July 11th. Jesus. But I guess they can't leave the country, I'm assuming.
Brown was also charged with a single count of having an offensive weapon. Just hours after flying into the UK on a private jet, if you guys remember, he was arrested at his Manchester hotel on May 15th by Metropolitan Police detectives. He was charged over the alleged assault, but released from HMP Forest Bank in Salford, Greater Manchester on May 21st on a $5 million conditional bail. It was alleged that he was signing autographs to inmates and actually shouting them out during a recent concert while he's in bail.
And thank you to the jail. Y'all was really nice. Y'all was really nice to me at the jail. So, shouts out Forest Bank. I wish I could do this forever.
But with this situation, a prosecutor
It's a weird thing to brag about, though, isn't it? It's not the best thing to brag about. Oh yeah, big up the police. Big up the prison I stayed in. It was really cool. It's a weird thing to kind of, especially with his track record or his history of, I don't know, tactical disagreements or something. It's not the best thing you want to recommend to people, especially if they're trying to be quiet and zen like. But what do I know?
Hannah Nicholas previously described the incident as an extremely serious attack that was caught on CCTV. She said the victim was struck with a bottle several times, punched and kicked repeatedly. In court, Brown answered not guilty, ma'am, in response to the grievous body harm with intent charge. Two defendants are now set to face a week-long trial on October 26th next year. So this is a long time away before this is going to go to court. As part of Brown's bail conditions, he must reside at a UK address and can only access his passport when he needs to travel for a tour day. Other bail conditions include not attending that same nightclub or contacting his co-accused or the complaint or any witness.
Chris Brown, Brandon.
What? Chris Brown leaving courts there in London.
I didn't go about the $5 million bail.
Bro, he wants to get a picture together with this stuff.
You look what you Rihanna.
Big up Jaded. Dude looks high. Do you think so? I think he's looked the cleanest it's looked in a while nowadays. When I say Chris Brown, when he came back from COVID, he was kind of chubby and shit. Then he lost a bunch of weight, but then he looked like he was like going through it. But look, he looks like he's been on a little diet. I'm not gonna lie, a little, 50 day diet and shit. Maybe might make some sense. But let's see what's happening here.
You look what hitting Rihanna, Chris Brown. The public said you should get banned for life from the UK.
Oh, Chris.
Love you too, buddy. The public said you should get banned, Chris Brown.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, at a point for his trial, he's going to be living in the UK. He must also not go within 100 meters of any international travel hubs. If found to breach his such conditions, Brown could be asked to forfeit the $5 million he's put up for his bail. Shortly after the singer was released on remand, he posted an Instagram story to his 144 million followers that read, "From the cage to the stage," adding the word "Breezy Bowl," the name of his tour. And many people have been going on about how good these performances have been.
I've been see the Chris Brown concert I went to Saturday.
It was good, yeah.
It was the best concert I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow,
it was genuinely the best day of my life.
To be fair, I've heard a bunch of people say who've been there that he really does perform well live. Chris Brown, allegedly, he's a really good performer. The dancing, the pyrotechnics, the hanging from the roof, he's really an OG in this thing. So yeah, that's probably why they did it that way. Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Like, genuinely. Like, name me a better performer. Name me a better performer. Anyone. Tell me anyone who could compare to that. If guys say Travis Scott, yeah, such a lame ass, bro. Like, bro, I saw him dance. I saw him sing. I saw him fly. Like, bro, it's a man, dude. Like, bro, see my childhood, like, you look like not deep. For me, it was deeper, innit? Because, like, since I was this tall, bro, Chris Brown was my #1 artist since day. Like, he's my favourite artist. I've just seen him in, like, YouTube.
Alright, relax, brother. Relax. Relax.
Videos and that. And then I saw him live, bro. Doing up backflips and doing up jump. Genuinely, if you missed out, I genuinely feel sorry for you, innit? Because, bro, it was the best thing. Like, this is genuinely Michael Jackson of our era, bro. Like, no one's performing like that.
The jury obviously going to know of Chris Brown and what he's done in these parts, and will he be judged by that? Many people turn their back on him because that situation with Rihanna, and he's had numerous offences, but internationally. I'm not sure if that is allowed to be brought up in this situation. Next year is going to be crazy. A lot of cases are getting pushed forward. We see Andrew Tate's going to have a trial here. Chris Brown's going to have a trial here. They're having dates so far forward. A backlog of cases have come still due to COVID. And when Chris Brown was in the UK, people was pulling up to the prison. They was doing TikTok lives outside the court. This guy actually causes a scene. He's got a massive fan base in the UK.
Back here a bit. Oh no, it's not. So they've already turned around. The van's coming out. It's videographers and stuff. Lauren, I feel sick.
Jesus Christ.
Oh please, just. Oh my God, can you open the door and wave? Is that? I can see him. I can see him in the back. I can see him in the back. Woo! He's in there, guys.
Jesus Christ. Embarrassing.
So all the.
You can hardly see him. The windows are that tinted in that fucking people carrier, and they're screaming, fucking waiting there for hours in the baking sun for like a 0.5, even less than that, little glimmer of seeing the side of his face. Like, come on, man.
Pats are facing him. His videographer's chasing him, and that's it, guys. He's gone. Paps are all going, police are going.
My gut feeling is that Chris Brown will not go to jail because it's his first offence in the UK, and he may not even get found guilty. If he is, I think he will not go to jail. He will have a massive fine and possibly forced to stay for a period to carry out some sort of community work to give back. I cannot see Chris Brown sitting in jail for GBH in the UK for a very long time, but who knows? I'll keep you guys posted on that trial. One thing we will say is Chris Brown's team from the start have not dealt with this situation well. When in a London nightclub, he should have his own security or people that stop him getting into a fight. We see many people go around with entourages and stuff when they're this famous. That's mainly to prevent anyone getting to them.
Basically.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Floyd Mayweather confessed about supporting the genocide. Oh yeah, he went. Where did he go? I forgot. He went recently somewhere. People kept trolling him, innit? I keep saying free Palestine.
Sorry?
No, you are rich. Why do you need to be like that?
What?
You guys are rich.
Why are you gonna win?
You guys are rich. No, you guys are rich, right? You guys are.
Jesus Christ, mate. Like, that's an intimidating walk across, isn't it? With those fucking massive ass fucking bodyguards plus him. Jesus Christ, the beats you would get if they catched you. The beats you will get.
Rich. You guys are rich. You don't need to be like this.
Like what?
Floyd, you're a rich
like
man.
What? Are you my friend? Like what? But like what? Like what?
He's running. The guy's running. They called his bluff. They just walked up to him. He started running around the car. That's hilarious. Grown ass man running around the cars.
Like what? Are you my friend? Like what? But like what? Like what? I know. I didn't say you said all that bullshit.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously, Chris Brown numerous times has put his hands on people and takes it into his own hands. And again, his team have come to the UK, gone to Manchester without tapping in with the police or anyone to find out. There must be people contacting his team saying he has a pending case here that they've just ignored and assumed that he's above the law. And now it's come back and he's going to have to face justice. As for the victim, we know this guy wants a crazy amount of compensation. His face is not even in the public domain, but he's meant to be in the music industry.
Yeah, his face hasn't even got leaked. Somehow that guy's face hasn't got leaked yet. Somehow that guy's face hasn't got leaked yet. Anyways, my friends, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you now. I'm gonna have to love you and leave you and see you guys on the other side. I'll see you guys in the morning. I've got a workout planned in the morning, so I'm gonna get some sleep now, and then I'll be up in the morning and we'll do another half of this stream. So those of you that enjoyed, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. And we'll finish off the rest of the parts. We've got to finish off like the Tfatk, the Andrew Schulz New York Times article, the golden hour clips. Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. We'll get through it tomorrow. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, all that good shit. Okay, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Apologies, it's the morning though. For those of you in America, apologies, it's the morning. But I can do a little bit of a day stream tomorrow. So apologies because it's going to be quite late for you guys. So if you're not around, don't worry. But I probably will do it around whenever I wake up, maybe like 9 or something. I think I should probably get a little couple hours of sleep, maybe about 9 a.m. or something. But yeah, maybe 10, maybe 10, maybe 9, maybe 10. But I'll let you guys know. But big up everybody, appreciate all of you. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, all that good shit. Become a member, join the Discord, leave comments, all that good shit. I'll put timestamps now before I sleep actually, so you can check back later and see what I go on. And I'll see the rest of you guys tomorrow. Alright? Cool. But for now,